viewers, welcome to Knowledge is Power, and in today's video I'll be explaining how a human heart functions. It will be a very beneficial video for students who are preparing for 10th board exams and also for many curious people out there who are hungry for knowledge. Remember guys, knowledge is power. Let's get to the video right away. So here we have a well labeled diagram of a human heart. So this clearly shows 4 sections of the heart, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Now here in this diagram, don't get confused by the left and the right, since this left and right is when this heart is viewed from behind. Now imagine this heart of a person that you are viewing from the front. So his right will be your left and vice versa. So I will label the 4 sections of the heart as RA for right atrium, RV for right ventricle, LA for left atrium, and LV for left ventricle. This is just for the easier understanding of the diagram. Now guys, heart has a very specific function to perform. Now since both oxygen and carbon dioxide has to be transported by the blood, the heart must prevent their intermixing. Thus comes the different chambers. The carbon dioxide rich blood must reach the lungs for the carbon dioxide to be removed, and the oxygen rich blood must be brought back to the heart so that through heart it can be pumped to different organs in our body. Now let's follow step by step in the diagram. The oxygen rich blood from the lungs comes to the thin walled upper chamber of the heart on the left, that is the left atrium. The left atrium relaxes when it is collecting the blood. Now this act of relaxation acts as a suction, thereby allowing blood to enter the left atrium. Now once the blood has reached the left atrium, its job is to get transferred to the other chamber. Now how will it achieve that? It will achieve by contracting. Now the left atrium contracts, thereby pumping blood to the left ventricle, which then expands. Now this left ventricle is having a thicker wall as compared to the left atrium, which we discussed earlier, having thinner wall. Now why is that? See, the job of left atrium is to collect blood, whereas the job of left ventricle, which we shall see now, is to pump the blood. So now that the blood has reached the left ventricle, it gets pumped and gets transferred to different parts of the body through the aorta. Now what is aorta guys? Aorta is nothing but an artery, which is a very special artery in a human body. It's the largest artery whose job is to pump blood from the heart to different parts of the body. Now what are arteries? Arteries are blood vessels. Just like veins, we have arteries. These two are blood vessels but have a different design. Now since arteries is pumping blood from the heart, the blood is under higher pressure, so it has thicker wall and it is more elastic as compared to veins, which have thinner walls. Alright? Now having seen what happens to the oxygenated blood, let's move on to the deoxygenated blood. The deoxygenated blood enters through different parts of the body, the right atrium, which is the upper right chamber of the heart. Alright? So once the blood enters through the right atrium, it expands, it relaxes, creates a suction effect, just like we saw it in case of left atrium. A similar thing is happening here also. So on expanding and collecting the blood, the right atrium then contracts, thereby sending the blood to the right ventricle, which will dilate once it gets the blood from the right atrium. Alright? Now similar to the case which we saw in left ventricle, this particular chamber, right ventricle, you can see in the diagram, has thicker walls. Now the same reason, since it has to pump the blood now, it needs stronger wall as compared to the upper chambers, the atriums. Alright? So the ventricles have thicker wall as compared to the atriums. Now From the right ventricle, once the heart is pumping, the blood is sent to the lungs for reoxygenation through the pulmonary arteries. So guys, this is how oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is transported in human body. Now there are something known as valves which I missed earlier. You can see the right and the left atriums and the right and the left ventricles. They are separated by valves. Now these valves have a very specific function to prevent oxygenated and deoxygenated bloods from intermixing. Okay, so whenever the atriums or ventricles they contract, they make sure that there is no backward flow. Let's say from the right ventricle to the right atrium, there will be no backward flow. Okay, when the right ventricle will contract, the blood will only flow from the pulmonary arteries. Okay, and it will not go backward to the right atrium. So that's its specific job of the valves. So that's all for today in the video, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe for the upcoming informative videos on knowledge is power. Thank you. Have a nice day.